How's it going, everyone? We're still here. Finished our ride, 80 miles. Brian was out there riding, killing it. Brian McCulloch. We've got Jonathan, the mechanic. We're going to kind of go over their race machine, KHS, kind of ask a couple questions, just see how it is from a rider's and mechanic's point of view. So let's start off with Brian. This is not a new bike for you. You raced this last year, right?
Yes, sir.
Give us kind of like an overlay real quick on just your thoughts on it as far as, stiffness, response, like what stands out to this bike with you?
Oh, it's great. We do a lot of races. I mean, we go from UCI stage races in Taiwan and Colorado and Utah all the way down to local criteriums and regional criteriums and stuff like Tulsa Tough, which are really fast and aggressive. And so this bike, it does it all. I'm really thankful because we can do big mountain descents. It climbs like a machine, and then like my sprinters, they feel good and fast and with great sprinters. So it's a good bike. It does a whole lot well.
Okay, so now Jonathan, as far you're on the other end, you're working on these bikes. When they're done with like a ride, today, kind of like what do you go through with the bike? What's kind of like a once over? What do you really look at? Kind of what's your go-to?
Sure. Yeah. So we just built all these bikes up. So right now we're still kind of breaking them in, making sure all the cables are stretched out, dialing small adjustments, tweak the fit. Guys might have one or two small changes they want to make post-ride. But for the most part, they've been running flawless, really smooth. The brakes are great. The shifting's great. We had one of the engineers at KHS, get the wheels all dialed in for us. So the wheels are looking solid. They're beautiful, nice and true.
So what is the build on this bike for you guys, essentially, for the team?
The whole package?
Yeah, what are you guys working with here?
We've got Shimano 8000, 11-speed. That's their Ultegra group. We have a new brake set from FSA, their new K-Force brake set, and this is a single pivot brake. The frame does also have options for direct mount brakes, but currently we're running this for a simple lightweight option. We've got a really, really sleek power meter here from 4i that's mounted directly onto the FSA cranks. And then the guys are running some 5339 and a couple 5236 setups for chain rings, and then an 11-speed rear cassette. It's an 1128 on all these bikes.
All right, Brian, back to you. Is there anything different on this bike than last year? Is there anything?
Well, the setup's a little bit different. We've got this year we have carbon cranks from FSA,
okay,
which are really slick. So 4i power meters, they did a great job. They made us some special power meters that are carbon. So that was a really big deal. That's an innovation for them, and they're really forward thinking. And they got innovation on that and got us dialed in. And so that's one thing that's different. Obviously, the 8000 Ultegra is really nice, but it's mostly the same stuff, some different brakes. Again, you can't beat these Maxxis tires. They're so good. But we got some great carbon wheels as well, so we're on carbon clinchers all the time. That technology has just come a long way in the last 5 years, so good to go.
So, Jonathan, you've got, extensive background working on bikes, this and that. I see everything's like all, internally routed. Do you have any maybe tips you can give out real quick as far as working on these bikes, maybe someone at home, maybe something is internal, or, you're a pro mechanic. How about you, fill us in on a couple of little tricks for the audience?
That's a really good question. It's one of the things I actually appreciate the most. Coming into this frame, I'd never built a KHS before, and honestly, off the line, was super impressed with how modular these cable stops are. So all the frame ports are easily removable, leaving you with a large cutout in the frame to work with. So you kind of run the cable. They're pre-run with an aligner, and so we drop the cable in, we pull it through, you're able to lead that cable all the way through rather than just poking and fishing, trying to get the cable through with magnets and stuff. When you replace the cable, it's just as simple. Basically detach the shift cable on this end, get the liner over it, follow it through to the top, and then pull the cable out so you have a liner all the way in the frame. And then if you lose anything or miss anything, it's so easy to get back in there, take stuff out. Even under the bottom bracket here, we've got a really clean cable management system that's super easy to work with, very standard size bolts, and everything's steel, so you're not going to round anything out super easily.